Throughout video game history, there has been many games that have had content removed from their games, for one reason or another. And did you know that Multiversus actually falls into the category of removing content from their game? Yeah, that's right. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at a few instances, few small bits of content that have actually been removed from the game. And what am I talking about? Well, let's start off with this. This first thing is a unique perk for Taz, and we got a few different perks to go over. But the first one, this one is called Right Back At Ya. Now, this perk was actually usable during the closed alpha. Once the open beta started, I guess the closed version of the beta, the one that started in July. Once that came out, this perk was actually removed from the game altogether and ended up getting changed out with another one. So what did this perk actually do? Well, luckily we got a little description here where Taz's tornado and the buff that it would give his allies would actually reflect incoming projectiles, but the tornado would ultimately move slower. Now, I actually remember using this perk during the closed alpha. It was an interesting perk, to say the least. If it was, the tornado itself was able to reflect incoming projectiles, which is kind of crazy. Now, as we know, throughout history, or very shortly after the open beta went live, Taz's tornado went through many changes, and one of the changes is Taz's tornado now gets interrupted by medium and heavy projectiles, meaning this perk right now kind of has no purpose in the game. Or would it? Would this still be a fun perk for Taz? Again, there would be a cooldown because it is a unique perk, but could you imagine if Taz could still be able to reflect a projectile? You would have to get the timing down, which also makes it so spamming the Taz-nado, you would have to kind of pick and choose your moments that you want to use the attack. If your opponent's at high damage, you want to go for that stock ender, go for it. But if you're kind of at low mid-range percentage and you're facing, I don't know, a Bugs Bunny or a Rick Sanchez that are just throwing out projectile after projectile, and you go to use this tornado, and now it reflects it back at the opponent, well, that's going to catch them off guard, and they might not expect it, allowing you to take advantage of that situation. So this perk, I think, could still be somewhat useful in today's game, but it might need some tweaks and adjustments from its original description. Content piece number 2 that has been removed, or in this case, well, yeah, the effect has been removed, but it's another unique perk for Arya Stark. Now, this one, the image, the symbol might look very familiar, but this one was actually called Wounded at one point. Currently in the game, it's the exact same image, if I'm not mistaken, but it is now called Betrayal. Well, what did Wounded do? What was the effect of this perk? Why did this get removed from the game? Well, here's the description. Enemies hit by Arya's thrown knife will gain stacks of stun debuff when knocked back. Now, Arya's allies knocking back an opponent when they get hit by Arya's thrown knife will actually add twice the amount of stacks. It adds up twice as fast. So the debuff gets removed if Arya ultimately dashes to the knife. But could you imagine how crazy powerful this could be? The amount of stun debuff stacks that you can put on an opponent? Yeah, I can see why they would remove this one from the game or change it up into what it currently is in game. And again, that perk would be Betrayal, so I can understand, right? The game's going to go through its testing and change this and change that or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of fun. And I guess to compare it real quick to what the current Betrayal perk does, I believe it's something to do with if you hit an ally with Arya's dagger, or the ally will be given some sort of like rage buff or something like that. So it's kind of have a similar effect, but you no longer gain stacks of stun debuff. I think that one would be pretty crazy, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Content piece number 3. and 4 will get there, but 3 is another unique perk, just like 4. But 3, this one is a Bugs Bunny perk. Now, what one is this called? This is called the Safety, or just Safety. That's what it's called. So what does it do? It looks pretty interesting. An anvil on top of a safe. All right, well, the description for this attack, we actually don't have one. This was just a leftover image of a perk that is known to belong to Bugs Bunny, and we know it was called Safety. That is all the information that I could find on this one, so currently it's anyone's guess what this might have done. So if we wanted to try to deduce from the image, there's an anvil on the safe. Now, I don't know, this me thinking out loud here. Bugs Bunny and his ally, if you're doing 2s, can actually knock the safe and punch it away, kick it away, whatever you might be. The opponents can come up and kick it and break it, but I don't think they can ultimately send it flying through the air, right? So what if this anvil was to keep it more sturdy or more steady, keep it in place? So I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank on this one. I'm not really too sure what to make of it. So if you have any of your own guesses, please let me know down in the comment section. But yeah, Bugs Bunny had a unique perk removed, as well as Rick Sanchez. He had a unique perk that was called the Portal Catch. Now, what did this do? Sadly, like Bugs' Safety perk, well, there's no description on this one, at least not that I could find. If anybody has any more information on these two, please let me know. But yeah, Rick had a portal catch perk that was ultimately removed. So we'll try to guess real quick. He's got the thumbs up sticking through the portal catch. Maybe if you catch your opponent, they get some sort of buff, or their projectiles go through it and they gain some sort of buff as well. I'm not quite sure, but it looks to be thumbs up, a positive one for you and your team, depending on what is being caught inside the portal. So yeah. And one final thing for the video. Now, I want to stress I should have mentioned this at the beginning. All of these things could at some point make a return to the game, but as of right now, they seem to be completely removed. The last thing we're going to talk about, though, anybody remember these XP boosts? No, I'm not talking about the new ones. No, remember this XP boost? This was in the preseason. I believe there was 3 of them that you could get, and then they were also available in the Season 1 Battle Pass. I believe there was 7 or 8 of them in total that you could get. So what did these do if you weren't around for the preseason or Season 1? These kind of work. No, not kind of. Here's how they did work. You just basically use this on a character and you got 1,000 XP towards your character progress. So if you were starting out a brand new character at level 1 and you get 1,000 XP boost, that's going to get you, I think, to my math will be wrong on this, but it would get you, 1,000 points ahead. So you might end up going from 1 to like level 4, level 5, maybe something like that. So these were like a one-time use, but it was an instant. You got to see the results instantly. Now they have kind of used this idea and changed it up a little bit, which I like. Remember, during Season 2, we have these new boosts. We have the gold boost, the XP boost for characters, and the battle pass boost. But these are all on a match or a time limit overall. These aren't an instant satisfaction sort of thing. These are, you have to play the game, which I have no problem with. I have no problem keeping these the exact same way that they are currently, but I like the instant. Bring back just the original XP boost for your character. I think that's fine. I don't see any issue with that. As long as everybody's able to have access to it, throw it as a free tier. Maybe even if it's just like 1 or 2 for a free tier during the next battle pass, or even throw it as a reward for upcoming events. So, we got the Christmas one or the holiday one currently going on. So if they would have thrown one of these XP boost in there for one of the daily login bonuses, that would have been pretty fun. That would have been pretty cool. I think a lot of people would love to have that. So there's always new people joining the game, and there's always new people starting new characters from level 1. So you don't really want to be sitting behind the 8 ball, right? wouldn't it be awesome to unlock Bugs Bunny for the first time and go, boom, XP boost, 1,000 XP, and now I'm already up to level 4, level 5, so I got 2 perks unlocked already, so you're not going into a match perkless, and you don't feel like, you know, you don't have a chance. So it's a good idea. I like the perks that they introduced for Season 2, but I also want them to bring back the original XP boost as well. Either way, that is all that I got for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe you learned something? I don't know. I learned a couple things when I was researching for this video, but there you go. There are, I guess, 5 things that have been removed from Multiverses.